recipients will soon see a major change aimed at stopping fraud. Starting on Tuesday, the Department of Social Services will automatically block all out-of-state and online EBT purchases unless cardholders unlock their cards first. We have Conley Ann Ragley joining us right now from DSS. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course, absolutely.
So kind of bring us up to speed, if you don't mind, of what is going to be happening on Tuesday.
Sure. So beginning April 28th, SNAP cards will be locked for out-of-state purchases, because one of the things we know is that bad actors, usually in California and New York, are stealing individuals' SNAP benefits long before their cards. They may be in transit through the mail. They're using fraud measures to wipe these cards out. And it is really heartbreaking when a family calls DSS looking for assistance. And unfortunately, there is no recourse if your SNAP benefits are stolen. And so the South Carolina Department of Social Services, again, starting April 28th, we're being proactive. We're thinking outside of the box to allow cardholders to essentially determine if they want to be able to use their cards out of state or for online purchases. But until that SNAP recipient or that household makes the decision to do that, we have made a decision to lock their cards for them, because this is again, a preemptive measure. Because as we know, the fraud replacement program unfortunately ended at the end of the Biden administration. Congress failed to reauthorize and fund the program. And since December of 2024, there has been no recourse for not just South Carolina families, but any families across America. If their SNAP benefits are stolen electronically through phishing or skimming or hacking, there unfortunately is nothing that we can do to assist them.
So is that why it's happening right now? That's why these changes are coming into effect right now?
Absolutely. And this is something that's led by the Department of Social Services in South Carolina. We're trying to be proactive. We're trying to try to help families before that fraud and abuse ever occurs, because there's nothing worse than a fraudster, someone who is trying to harm families. They're literally stealing the food out of their families' mouths.
Oof. Oh my goodness. Now, can you kind of go into detail? How can somebody then unlock it? So let's just say they are traveling out of state. How can they unlock their card? How do they do that?
Sure. And so first and foremost, I know there's lots of apps. And when you go to your Apple Store or maybe Google on an Android, make sure that folks are using the Connect EBT app. That is the official app of South Carolina that we use at DSS, and we know that that is a reliable source. There's lots of other apps. I think last time I checked, there's over 2,000 apps if you happen to Google in the App Store. So you can use that Connect EBT app to literally unlock and lock your card back. So for example, let's say you wanted to purchase groceries maybe for an online pickup at a major retailer. So what you would do is you download the Connect EBT app, you would go in, you would unlock your card, you'd make your online purchase, and then we would recommend that you go back and lock that card just so that, you know, if for some reason, if your phone is compromised or that retailer's website is compromised, go ahead and lock that card back so that you are safeguarding those benefits.
Okay.
Because again, if they are stolen electronically, if they are phished, if they are skimmed, that there is no recourse that we have in South Carolina, because right now SNAP is 100% federally funded.
So when we do it, so when they unlock it, it won't automatically lock again after they come out of the app. So once they unlock it, they will then have to lock it again themselves.
Yes, and that's what we recommend. Of course, you know, we can't make folks do this.
Right.
We've had a lot of folks that have called the department and called the office, not necessarily understanding, thinking that we're taking away their SNAP benefits. We're dictating where they can shop, when they can shop. Absolutely not. This is just an additional safety layer that we're putting into place, because I can tell you there is nothing worse than getting a phone call from a parent who is distraught, who is in tears because their entire SNAP benefits for the month have been completely wiped out, and there is nothing we can do to help. This is something that we can do.
Is there any way that you've been working with maybe seniors who might not be able to understand all of the 2,000 apps that are going on their phone? Is there any way to kind of help them through all this?
Sure. There's also a phone number on the back of all EBT cards that you can call for assistance through our third-party vendor that operates these cards. So there's lots of resources and options out there for families. But again, this is us trying to be proactive, because We know that the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which oversees this program, has made some arrests in SNAP fraud, and I know this is something the FBI is looking at, as well as law enforcement across the board. Many of these bad actors are located out of the country. We know that a lot of times, sometimes the cards are drained in certain areas of the Bronx in New York, California. We've had some fraud reported out of Texas. And so for example, like a senior citizen, if we know that they live in South Carolina and they don't travel, well, then why is somebody going into the Bronx and draining $100, $200 off their card? So again, trying to think outside of the box. And there's nothing worse than someone's taking that food, those benefits that are meant to help families and supplement their monthly food budget. There is nothing worse in our minds.
If somebody believes that they could have been impacted by fraud, what is something that they should be doing right now?
Sure. So first and foremost, we have a lot of tips on our website at dss.sc.gov. We've got a lot of community partners that work in the healthy eating space. First and foremost, change your PIN number and make it difficult to choose. So let's not use 1, 2, 3, 4 or 4 zeros. So let's make sure we're changing our PIN number frequently. Again, I've talked a little bit about the apps, but let's make sure we're using the Connect EBT app. Again, that is the only authorized app for the state of South Carolina, so that we can, that's one that is provided by the vendor that we work with. Also, just checking when you go to scan or swipe your card in a grocery store, pull on the receiver, see if it might have a bug or an attachment that doesn't look like it's part of the apparatus to run your card or the terminal. If you do see something that's suspicious, report it to the store manager or local law enforcement. And I mean, some of these are some basic skills that we remind folks. Don't let anybody borrow your card. Don't let anybody use your card that you're not authorized for. Watch where you're going to shop. If you're shopping online, make sure that it is at a secure website for that national retailer. So again, good reminders, not just for SNAP beneficiaries and EBT households, but for everyone.
Right.
Because fraud and evildoers never rest. They're always looking to take advantage of folks. They are counting on you as the consumer to not be paying attention.
I mean, they're villains. That's what it was.
They are.
Super villains out there.
Well, I don't know if I'd call them super, but they're definitely villains.
They're definitely villains.
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
course.
being here. We seriously appreciate you. Again, all of this is happening on Tuesday, and we had some great resources out there. We're going to be putting this whole interview later on tonight on our website, WLTX.com. All right, everybody, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.